This is Talk Local to Me from the Central Virginia Business Coalition. Local stories, local business, local impact.
Every small business has a story. We're sitting down today with a local business owner that helps make Central Virginia, Central Virginia. This is Tea Time with the Central Virginia Business Coalition. I'm Heather Alto, Executive Director.
And I'm Mike Norfield, owner of Visiting Angels of Lynchburg.
We're here today with Ashley Beasley with Sweet Indulgence Bakery. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Ashley, are you ready to spill the tea?
Absolutely.
All right. So what's the story behind Sweet Indulgence?
It's a loaded one, but in a nutshell, I am a domestic violence survivor. And when we started here, throughout that period of my time, the only piece of me that I did not allow to be taken was my love for baking and my passion. I grew up at my grandmother's table, learning to bake at that table. And that table actually sits in my bakery today. We still gather around it as a team. But I decided that I wanted Sweet Indulgence to be a place of safety for other people like me, women. So we employ women who are rebuilding from domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. That is our entire staff. A lot of them are single mothers. We even have a kids' room so that they can bring their kids and they don't have to pay for childcare.
I like it. So what inspired you to take the leap and start this business?
It was kind of a God-given thing. So it started in my home because I was not allowed to work outside the house when I was in that relationship. And so it started there. And then when I left, it was literally the thing that kept my head above water. It just kind of, again, it was the only part of my identity that I knew to be true. And so that's where I started. So I just kind of walked from there. And then God has literally just opened the doors and led us on this path and made it very clear this is what we're supposed to do.
So was there a moment where you knew this is what you were meant to do?
Oh, yeah, 100%. It was, I think when I left, after I left, it took me about a year. I got a job at a catering company as a part-time cake filler. They had an overbooked weekend where I was kind of thrown in to do a Taj Mahal cake for this wedding cake, and I knocked out of the park, and I was immediately promoted to executive sous chef. So I went in 6 months from part-time cake filler to an executive sous chef, and the job prior that I had to that told me that I fired me and told me I didn't belong in the industry. So that was kind of like yep, I belong here and you were wrong, and I'm doing this.
I like it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about challenges. I know we all face them.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges that you faced in starting your business?
We've had a lot of them. Business-wise, it was really getting people to know we exist because we don't have a storefront because of who we employ. And we're working on a storefront, but that has its own problems because of who we employ. The other challenge, too, is just honestly my own ego. Once we started to get there and we started to get successful and started getting all these awards and I let that kind of get to my ego and I lost my focus. We actually almost closed this year. We were supposed to close November 30th and we're no longer closing. We're good. We even rebranded. So we have a new brand now that better correlates our mission and communicates our mission. But yeah, it was the biggest challenge is getting people to know that we exist.
Yeah.
And to honor and respect our boundaries. A lot of people, not a lot, some people do get upset that we don't allow them to just walk in. But we've decided that the people that get upset and don't understand or respect the boundaries are the people that we don't want to serve anyway.
Right. So what keeps you pushing forward, through the challenges? What's keeping you going?
These girls, the people that we employ, I've realized how much it matters. At one point, I was trying to write an application to get one of the TV chefs to come in and see and help us figure things out. And one of the application questions, my staff actually had to answer. And what their opinion of was me. And so when I got to read what they wrote, it made me realize that all these things that I was questioning doesn't matter, mattered a whole lot. And then one of my staff, when she shared her story for the first time, had said that one of the biggest things that she loves is being able to come into work and know that if she asks for a day off to spend time with her daughter, she's not going to be told no. And so allowing them to prioritize their family.
Awesome.
So it matters.
Awesome. So Central Virginia is a great place to have a business, but what made you choose to open a business in Central Virginia?
I didn't really choose. I think God chose that. My husband got a job here with Liberty, and now he's actually deployed and currently stationed in Norfolk. But so I started in my home here, and we didn't know if it was going to take off here or not, and it did. And we've just followed that path that God has kind of laid in front of us. So I'm just following what he tells me to do. It's his business at the end of the day.
I got you. So how long have you been part of the CVABC?
5, almost 6 years. I think this February will be 6 years.
Okay. And how has the CVABC supported your journey?
Oh man, that's also a loaded question. You guys have been there for all the highs and lows, and not just you two in particular, but the CVABC as an organization. So many times the businesses have rallied around us when we were struggling to help us get sales and meet quotas that we needed. They've helped push our advertising and just in general, just shown up for our women and just really been there. Recently, I made a post about our kids' room needing to be improved because it was really sad, and now it's so full we don't have room for everything that was donated.
Wow.
It's like
That's awesome.
it within like 48 hours.
Yeah.
So now we're talking about what else we could do to expand the kids room for the kids. So
I like it.
What do you feel is so important about supporting local?
as a small local business, I feel the effects when we're not supported. Understanding that you might pay a little more, but as cliche as it is, those memes that you see, oh, well, that order paid for somebody's meal, it really does. Like when you support us, it helps me to provide things like the child room, because that costs money for me, not to them, but to me. And I will do it to help provide HSA accounts and to make a better quality life and pay them a living wage so that they're not just stuck at minimum wage like most bakeries do.
All right. So are you ready for the rapid fire round? The rapid fire questions? Okay.
The most divisive question we ever ask: sweet tea or unsweet tea?
Black coffee.
Black.
Well, no, I don't like the black coffee, but coffee
I love black coffee. I'll drink if tea's my only option. I'll do unsweet tea.
Okay.
I live in the South, but
I know they might kick us out because we're both imported. So,
I know.
what's your favorite local business other than your own?
Ooh, Bootleggers actually is one of my all-time favorites, and then I actually really like Mission House. I spend a lot of time at Mission House.
All right.
What's the best business advice that you've given or received?
Actually, that I've received came from you, Mike. That so that competition happened at the bottom, and cooperation and support happens at the top. So that was my best. And the one that I've given is just practice what you preach. It's important. Practice what you preach. I preach a lot that everybody from my janitor to the CEO are equally important. You can't operate one without the other. They're all human, and they all are valued.
So what is a myth kind of related to your industry that you want to kind of put out there and dispel?
I'll try to keep my soapbox small.
Okay.
Red velvet cake is not chocolate cake.
The cake is a lie.
Somebody says red velvet cake, my husband drops my hand and walks away because he knows I'm going on my
It's not
tangent.
allowed. It's not allowed in our house.
It's
right?
not a chocolate cake.
Right.
It is a buttermilk cake. And it actually it started back in the Victorian era, and it had a red hue because of the way the buttermilk interacted with the non-Dutch processed cocoa. And then in World War II, during food rations, they quit using cocoa and started using beet juice to get the actual food color. Yeah, to get the natural food color.
I hate red velvet even more.
I learned something new. It's actually my husband's favorite.
Red
cake.
velvet cake is a buttermilk-based cake, and its velvet texture comes from the cocoa powder that should only have 1 to 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder in your recipe. And that cocoa powder is simply there, one, for color and to help interact with the flour to create that velvet texture.
All right.
Look at that. That was
I've learned something today.
that was not an answer I was expecting. So.
What is one of the things you wish you had known before getting started in your business?
Just how important collaboration is. Understanding that I wasn't alone, because it's not just collaboration for transactions. It's more than that. There were, like I said, we had a lot of highs and lows this year, and there were times where businesses were literally crying with me or sitting next to me and praying with me. I've developed these relationships and these friends and these people that have walked through it, and then you've got business owners that understand and that have been there.
Yeah.
Right. What is the best way for people to connect with Sweet Indulgence Bakery?
Go to our website, because if you just walk in, we'll turn you away. Go to our website, or you can call us. We're in lots of local cafes, and we are looking for more partnerships. So yes, these are our Pop-Tarts. These are some of our more popular items.
I taught her the
This
Pop-Tart
is how
plan
you
for
need
like a
to
year.
connect.
Yes.
You need to contact and get a Pop-Tart. Or what is it? Cinnamon bun?
Or cinnamon rolls.
kinds
This is our orange cardamom roll right now. It's what we have for the winter. But yeah, just go to the several different cafes that we're in. You can go to our website to see what cafes we're in. Mike, you do have to share
I'm
those.
going to get a strawberry one. So, well, that's awesome. And what's the best way for them to contact you?
It'll be our website, and then if you go to our website, you'll be able to hit that hit that order now button, and that's going to put you directly in contact with me, or you can give us a call. It'll probably be me that answers because my staff does not like to answer the phone.
Awesome.
One of them will run to the back when it rings.
These are fantastic, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you for
This is really
Thank you
good.
for joining us on Tea Time today. And today we are going to spill the tea with Marco Galbraith with T4Tactics. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Are you ready to have some tea time?
I am. I'm ready to spill it. Sweet tea. I
Awesome.
think I jumped ahead, but yeah, sweet tea. It's got to be sweet tea. We're talking about that off air. Sweet tea.
Okay. Great.
So tell us the story behind your business, Marco.
So a retired police officer, it first started out as firearms training, safety training. We focus on creating safe, reasonable, responsible, legal gun owners. Reasonable is the biggest word there. And then we do active shooter response training for businesses, churches, schools all over the country.
So how did you get started in this adventure?
Unfortunately, I saw a need for the active shooter. Started it 12 years ago, and they were happening quite frequently. I was seeing that people weren't trained. So that was my background, SWAT team, hostage negotiations. I spent most of my career in the major case unit with police investigations. And so I started researching that, transitioning to training people just to be safe. It's workplace violence. I'm careful not to base it on fear or paranoia because it's a scary topic. So we go in and just give people the skill, education, confidence, knowledge to recognize something and shut it down before it even happens because most attacks are preventable. But that was the basis. I saw a need for it. Maybe one day I'll go out of business and there will be no more need for active shooter training.
Wouldn't that be great?
That's my goal.
That would be
That's
great.
my goal.
So a lot of people start a business and they kind of it's a learning curve to kind of get used to things. Was there a moment where you knew that like this was what you were meant to do?
From 5 years old, I knew I wanted to be a cop. And so I moved up here. I retired from Daytona Beach. We moved up here 20 years ago, and I tried to do other things, but it wasn't in my groove. That wasn't my comfort zone. So that's why I started doing firearms training, and then that's why I started doing the active shooter training, because it's my comfort zone. It's what I know, violence prevention. So that's why I started it. Yeah.
So what inspired you to take the leap into like from being a cop to doing the active shooter training and
It was
opening
fun.
T4Tactics?
I was a program director for criminal justice at Millermont Technical School, and the program director just came to me and said, "Can you put something together for us for active shooter?" And I was clueless, and so I did a lot of research. We put it together. Well, Channel 13 came out and did a story on it, and I started getting phone calls. Can you come out to our business? Can you come out to our church? And I thought, there's a need for this. So that was kind of a blessing that it just fell into place. And I thought there's a need for this because I'm getting phone calls.
Right.
And so that's where I started. That's where I was always doing the firearms training. But that's where I started thinking probably should do some active shooter training because people are calling for it.
Yeah, it's a needed thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest challenge that you faced in running your business in Central Virginia?
People denying it. They don't think it will. I've interviewed 91 people, 17 of the worst attacks we've ever seen. And I've gone all over the country interviewing victims, witnesses, survivors, law enforcement. And I always hear, I didn't think it would happen here, during that interview. Didn't think it would happen to me. Didn't think it would happen at my church. And so that's what I find in this area, especially this area. Most of my business is out of state. But this area it won't happen here.
Right.
And we don't want to live in fear or paranoia, but it's not living in fear or paranoia. It's just having a plan and being aware that these things happen. And how are we going to react when it happens? How's your body going to react? Your heart rate?
Yeah. How do you navigate those challenges? Like when people basically say, we don't need that or we don't see the need in our area.
I explained to them, like, there's fire sprinklers here. There's a fire extinguisher on the wall. Well, hopefully we'll never need them. You put on your seatbelt every day. Hopefully you'll never need that seatbelt. But if you need the fire sprinklers or the fire extinguisher or your seatbelt, it's there to protect you. So it's just knowledge and education.
Yeah.
It's better to know it and never use it than you just don't know it and something happens and you're completely clueless.
Right.
So I just let them know that, unfortunately, this is the reality. Human violence is a reality, and we just have to be aware of it without promoting fear or paranoia. It's a very scary. I go into churches and businesses all over the country, and you can see the fear on people's faces, just the topic. So very careful not to push fear. That's not what it's about. It's just knowledge. Education is power.
Yeah. What keeps you pushing forward and keep doing what you're doing?
Just my passion for helping people. There's nothing but I took 2 ladies to the indoor range yesterday and they couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. After about 10 minutes, they're hitting the bullseye and they look back at me and their face lights up. And I love to see that now they're going to start carrying concealed to protect themselves, where before they were scared. And now we've gone to the range and we've put them through the class. We go to the range, but now they're comfortable about it. And I just love seeing that light go on where people feel more comfortable. I can protect myself. We do free pepper spray classes because I understand a lot of people don't like guns. I get that. And I fully respect that for whatever reason. But everybody should have the ability to protect themselves. So we do free pepper spray classes. If you don't like guns, come by and we'll run you through a free pepper spray class.
So why Central Virginia? Why build your business here in our area?
We moved here. And so I grew up in Daytona Beach. At the beach, it's hot down there. It is hot and miserably humid. Of course, It's cold here today, 32 outside and windy. But as a kid, I always wanted the seasons and I wanted the mountains, maybe some snow every now and then. So we moved up here. We like Smith Mountain Lake. We like to go down there. And so we moved up here and I thought this is the place we're going to stay. So we'll build a business. And I met you early on with Central Virginia Business Coalition, and so that I met people, got in that networking groups. Sabrina and I were in a networking group with you years and years ago. Yeah, and so
I was a little, young individual.
Yeah. We've all got. You're still young individual. You're still a little young individual.
So I'm glad you picked up a new hobby of fishing.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
right.
Fishing.
Yeah.
So how has the CVABC supported that journey?
Oh, early on, networking. My problem is I don't get to go to a lot of coffee talks because I'm out of town all the time or I'm running a class. But it's the networking. Heather's been huge with supporting me, but it's the networking and running classes and just having that ability, not only for my business, but there are people in her organization that I can reach out to and say, you know what, I met this person at a coffee talk and they do this service. I can use them because I've met them. And it's hard to call a service provider and you have no idea who they are and they don't know you.
Yeah.
Now I can put a face with them.
So what do you appreciate most about local business and, dealing with local? I'm huge. I don't like to support corporate because that money's going out of state. I like local business because when I write that check or give them my credit card or whatever, it's going to stay here. And that's going to support the soccer league, the T-ball, the schools, local business. But I'm really big. I'll go out of my way to go local because I'm a local business. But I think the money should stay in our community and build our community.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, you ready for some quick fire tea questions?
Yes.
All right, so we already know the answer to this one. Sweet tea, unsweet, or something fancy?
Sweet tea.
What's your favorite local business other than your own?
I like Remington Ranch. They do local beef, chicken, all kinds of meats. But again, I don't think I've bought meat from the grocery store in years. I like that local, grass-fed, natural. In Remington Ranch, he's law enforcement with Lynchburg PD. His wife is retired from Campbell County Sheriff's Department. But they're at the Lynchburg Market every Saturday morning. But I just like the clean product. Yeah,
awesome.
They're good people.
All right.
What's the best business advice you've ever given or received?
Wow. I've made a lot of mistakes and successes and failures in my business. I would probably say keep pushing forward. Don't let anything get you down. Just keep pushing forward. What gives me energy and what fires me up is when I have a competitor come up or something against me. That just gives me more pressure, more I guess, to push harder and keep marketing and keep doing what I'm doing. I like the competition.
Awesome.
So I would say advice is don't let anything get you down. You're gonna have potholes in the road. You either go around it or go over it and bounce right back. Yeah. Don't get discouraged.
Great advice.
Okay. What's a myth about your industry?
That I want to have everybody to shoot everybody. It is. And that's why I focus on, in my gun classes, I say the last thing you want to do is shoot somebody. So the myth is that I teach people how to shoot somebody. I hear that all the time. And that's That couldn't be further from the truth. That's the last thing you want to do. Your brain is your most powerful self-defense tool. So we want to, you can carry pepper spray, taser, stun gun, a gun, martial arts, but the last thing you want to do is use any of that. Don't put yourself in a situation to have to use that in the first place.
Right.
Yeah. But that's the myth is
Yeah.
you teach people how to shoot people. No, I don't. No, that's not fun.
What is one thing you wish you had known before you started your business?
Taxes, how to do taxes. That's tough. That's tough. Had some learning curves with that. Retail taxes, payroll, quarterly taxes, all that stuff. Taxes, was probably and then where to advertise and where not to advertise. I have a tough business because of what I do. So not all advertising works for me. So I found that word of mouth and networking groups work best for me. I just don't get a lot from TV and other media advertising. Just that's because of what I do. It's a very specific group.
Okay.
Yeah.
How can people best support or connect with your business?
They can come out and take my classes. They can talk about me. And if they want to reach out to me, my website is T4Tactics. It's the letter T, the number 4, tactics.com. I'm a one-man show, so I like that because I can control everything that's said. And I know if something is said to a client, it came from me, and I can stand behind that.
And you also have a TikTok.
Yes.
Because I saw your TikTok the other day. You had just gotten back, I think, from San Francisco. You talked about them and that.
Yeah.
But you were talking about when you go to a store, how you like to park farther out and you like to have your driver door facing the store.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed or not. I parked a little farther out today. My driver's door was facing the door.
All right, because I'm going to check.
Then you upped me on one because you parked farther out.
Yes.
And was facing the building. So I was
Yes,
like,
yes.
okay, so he does what he says.
Right.
Right.
So
it was interesting to see that. So
Yeah.
yeah, your TikTok's pretty good too. I
Thank you.
the content there.
I mentioned that because my husband has never forgotten the one thing you told him about sitting at a restaurant facing the door.
Yeah.
So whenever we're in a restaurant, that is like his consistent thing now. And
Yeah.
that is because you taught him that.
We
so.
do an observational based awareness class. It's based on human behavior, like what we're talking about. And it's how to look at something and read it and say, is that building good or bad for me? Is that person good or bad? But it has to do with what we're talking about. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for Tea Time. And today we are spilling the tea with Jay Brooks with Paul Davis Restoration. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Are you ready for some tea time?
I am ready, more than ready.
All right.
All right. So tell us the story behind your business.
So, Paul Davis Restoration of Lynchburg, Roanoke, and Southside, Virginia came here a little over 2 years ago. Two of the owners relocated here after one of the owner's family needed some assistance around here, and they were moving back to the area. And one of the other owners, we have John and Paige Eastman and Brad Long. They worked together in the past. They decided to start a company. They did a lot of research into restoration companies, and Paul Davis franchise was a great fit for them and their needs.
So how did you get started, with the adventure of being part of Paul Davis Restoration?
So I've always been into business development, especially local within the community of Lynchburg. I wanted to get back into my roots a little bit in the construction field and management field. So this kind of fit up my alley. They had a job posting for emergency recovery coordinator, and that kind of all fit together as well. Being a first responder for almost 30 years myself through different fields, it just perfectly aligned with what I was looking for in this company.
And was there a moment in time where you knew this was what you were meant to do?
Yeah, just a couple weeks in, I was looking at everything, going over the notes. They were able to send me to a class up in Wisconsin that Paul Davis offers. And I went to that class, and I was talking to people that have like minds, just like me, people that are there for other people, trying to be there and be vigilant and be aware, help them out when they needed things, and also a community of first responders that were able to, help others out and use the skills that they've had in the past to help them, to help other people out. And it was just a perfect fit. I couldn't ask for anything better.
What made you originally take the leap to join Paul Davis, to get into this field?
So me being in the military for 8 years, I was used to having core values. And when I first walked into the interview with John, after even doing a little bit of research, I walked in, and on the wall there were core values. So, integrity, excellence, and service were in the Air Force, and the same type of principles align with this company. I just knew from that get-go that, the core values were there. This was a company that was looking at people and investing in their people, but also investing in the community and helping people out when needed.
What's been one of your biggest challenges in this new role?
So I would say one of the biggest challenges is trying to fit in a network of other restoration companies in an area where there's already really good, prominent companies here that are doing great things. One thing about our business and restoration is there's so much of it to go around. If you had 40 companies doing it, everybody still has work to do. But in Lynchburg, we have so many great companies around here. It's friendly competition, obviously. But there, it becomes a challenge because people have choices, Insurance companies give you choices, and some of the other companies that have been here a lot longer, people know them, so they tend to choose them. But we're here to fit in and provide the same kind of services and fit in the community and give excellent care.
So how do you navigate that? Like, how do you navigate working like with the competition and getting your name out there?
Yeah, so marketing, getting out there, sponsoring sports. We did Liberty University's men's basketball this year, but also getting out on website using SEO principles in marketing and website development, making sure that we're getting out there, but also taking advantage of CVABC, coming out, going and talking to people within the CVABC community and other chambers of commerce throughout our territory.
What keeps you pushing forward?
People have a need, and it's an emergent need. And when someone's home is being flooded, or it's on fire, or there's just something not going right, and when you're taken out of the element of your home, which is where your peace and safety is, that puts that person in a situation that makes them, not have a good feeling about what's going on in life, changes that they don't expect, the unknown. So being able to help people in that situation is probably the best part of being able to help people get back to a normal life again, and having that relief, told to you that you're doing a good job and thank you for helping us out.
Right. Yeah. So, Paul Davis, they decided to open up a franchise here. Why Central Virginia? Like, why this area?
So Paige Eastman, one of the owners, she has family here. After living somewhere else in Virginia for quite some time, they decided they wanted to come back here. And I know Miss Paige, her mother's around here, so it was nice for her to be around family. So I know they brought that here for that reason. One of our owners also owns the Myrtle Beach location, Paul Davis Restoration. So he manages, owns both of those. But for our location, it was, this is where Paige and John wanted to be, and this is where they came, and it was a great location.
How has the CVABC supported your journey?
In so many ways. I mean, the community, I don't see the CVABC as a business. I see CVABC as a community. There are people that you can reach out to. You can go to coffee talks, meet, luncheon meets, any event that the CVABC holds. We're always invited. So is everyone else. They're great people to network. There's, even just over coffee, you can learn so much about other companies and who these people are. And even if you're not using them or they're not using you as a reference, they're always referencing you to other people because of that community, that tight-knit community that you have.
What is the importance of supporting local to you?
It's extremely important. Other than 8 years of my military career, this has been my home for 36 years. I had that ticket when I got out of the military that says you can move anywhere in the world that you want to. And I chose Lynchburg, Virginia, because this is where my heart is. This is where my family is. And after living everywhere else and seeing everything else, I know I can travel other places if I need to, but it's not home. So if I need to go to the beach, I can go to the beach. If I need to go up, into bigger mountains, I can go into the mountains or travel to other places. But there's something about Central Virginia and Lynchburg and, Campbell County and Bedford and all the counties around here that's just really unique and has that southern home feeling, It's just great to have the community that really cares.
Yeah. All right, so some quick fire tea questions for you. The most important question of the day: sweet tea, unsweet tea, or something fancy?
There's only sweet tea. Everything else is just dirty water.
What is your favorite local business other than your own?
I'm going to give a shout out to Linda Brown at Joe Beans. They always put a smile on people's faces, and they remind me of some of the bigger chains where you walk up or you drive up. They always have great service. They always get your order right, and there's always really good people, especially young people back there, helping and delivering your coffee, and it's always good.
They almost put a smile on my face daily. So
Yeah, they do in my wife's face every day, probably.
what's the best business advice you've given or received?
Take the time to understand your clients, but also take a time to understand your community and the needs that are in that community, and apply what it is that you do to that community the best way possible with integrity and excellence, and doing what you can do to make everything count. I think that's the biggest part.
Awesome.
What's the biggest myth about your industry?
I'd say the biggest myth is dealing with home insurance. A lot of the times home insurances will recommend a company to you, and people kind of grasp that's the company I need to go to. When in all actuality, you're in charge of that actual claim. So if your insurance company says, hey, I need you to go with XYZ company, that's just wrong. You're in charge of that. You're in charge of who works on your house. So always, take care of yourself and validate and check references. But I think that's probably one of the biggest myths, is that your insurance company makes that decision for you, and that's just really not the case.
What is one thing that you wish you had known before getting started in this field?
How hard it was to promote utilizing the internet, SEO, and marketing capabilities. Because in our area, there are a lot of companies that do the same thing that we do, utilize the same strategies, but being able to do that effectively, it's a competition that you just kind of keep going, hoping that you show up first, hoping that people see you, and that you stay relevant. And being able to do that can be a task. So just knowing a little bit more about that would have been better, but we're catching up on that, and we're excited to offer new things here soon.
How can people best support or connect with your business?
Reach out to us. Even if you have questions or concerns, reach out. Let us know that you have a need, or you're interested in what would happen in case of emergency, and allow us the opportunity to serve you, whether it be through services or just offering some type of educational benefit. But anything that we can do for anyone in the community, we just would love for you to give us a call.
Thank you for
Thank
joining
you.
us today. I am here with Talia Coleman with Coleman Custom Creations, and we are going to spill the tea about her business. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great.
Good.
So it's great to have you on.
Yes.
It's been a while since I've seen you.
I know.
But I'm really
Thank you for
excited to
having me.
talk about your business. So let's get started with just telling me a little bit about how your business got started.
Sure. So, unfortunately, my husband could not be here today, but he is totally the magic behind the business. I just keep him in line as best as I can. And we started back in 2021, and he decided, this was just a good time for us to kind of take the leap and go into business for ourselves. People had constantly been calling him and asking him, hey, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do this? And just ripped it off like a Band-Aid.
Is there a certain moment that you guys knew hey, this is when we're going to do it? Was there any certain thing that happened that was just yeah, we're going to go for it?
I remember he had bid for a job, and it was a pretty substantial, it was a full home renovation. And he was so, he's like, I'm not going to get this job. There's just no way. I think he was having a little bit of imposter syndrome, and they called and he got it. And I was like, okay, you said if you got this job that you were going to quit your full-time job and go head first into this. And so he needed a little pushing, but he went for it, and it's just been full steam ahead ever since.
Yeah. So as a small business owner, what makes you passionate about, your business and being part of the small business community?
Yeah. I mean, my husband and I were both born and raised here. We love Lynchburg. All of our families here, it's our community, right? And we love supporting other small businesses. And so that's something that we're very passionate about, and just the people of this community. I think there's something really special there. I always say that Lynchburg is the littlest big town that you'll ever be in. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows everyone's dad somehow or another. And so I think just being able to connect and provide a service for people that, you don't see in other cities is something that's really special to us.
So I know, just because I've known you for years, I know y'all originally started out as painting. and you've grown and you've shifted. And I think a lot of businesses in like the construction industry and things, they tend to do that. How did that growth happen? Like,
Yeah.
what made you guys go from painting to where you guys are now?
Yeah. So, Noah started out with just the painting, like you said, and we specialized in kitchen cabinets for many years, and we still do a lot of that. He has a lot of experience in the color consulting world, as strange as that may sound. It's something that's really popular. And so that was his passion for a long time. And then his brother actually was a GC for Coleman Adams for many years, and, saw what we were doing and decided, hey, I think we could do something good together. And so we brought him on almost 3 years ago now, and expanded the portfolio into, full home renovations, bathroom remodels, basement remodels, kitchens, pretty much anything outside of HVAC.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, let's talk about challenges. So tell me a little bit about what challenges you guys have faced as y'all have been growing and establishing your business.
Yeah. So I joke that, we have two of the most like ADD people that you'll ever meet running our business. And so, that has its own set of challenges on its own. But I think more than ever, just the time that we're living in right now and, the economic climate, right? Everybody's trying to stretch their dollars further than they've stretched before. And, being a resource to the community, I think we hear a lot of, I wanted my bathroom redone, but so-and-so didn't show up. And I've had to call 10 different places and nobody's called me back, or nobody will show up for a quote or an estimate.
I hear that a lot.
So much. And so, it's really making sure that we're providing the level of service that not just meets people's expectations, but exceeds them. And building relationship, right? It's deeper for us than just a bathroom remodel or just a kitchen remodel. We become friends and family with so many of our clients, and we do a lot of repeat business that way.
So how do you navigate challenges, and what keeps you guys pushing forward?
Our family, right? We have 3 young children. My brother-in-law, who's our contractor, they've got 3 young children as well. And I think just knowing that we're doing this for them, we're trying to leave a legacy for them and make an impact on our community. I think, when we do face challenges, there's a lot of conversation had, right? I'm the type A in the business. I do all of the organization, and Noah and Jordan are really the ones who bring it all to life behind the scenes. So just making sure that we're all constantly on the same page. People say 3 is a crowd, but we tend to work it pretty well together.
So why Central Virginia? Why did y'all start your business here?
Yeah, just this is our home, right? We live here, we work here, we went to school here. We're both Liberty graduates. This has just been the community that we've been passionate about for so long, and I just can't imagine taking it anywhere else, really.
Yeah. So that was kind of like what makes this community special to you, being here in our area. You kind of touched on that, but I agree. It is very much a family feel around here. I say that all the time with our members. So yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the CVABC, because why not? It's time with the CVABC. How has the CVABC helped you guys with your journey? Being members.
Gosh, we've been members pretty much the whole time we've been in business. And, of course, you guys always shout us out on social media, at events you're having, connect us with, people who may be looking to have the kind of work that we do done. And, that's something that's really valuable. I think just the networking and knowing that there's other business leaders out in the community that we can lean on when we're struggling, when we're navigating challenges, when we're facing a problem we've never faced before, right? And I know, you and so many others in the CVABC have always been the shoulder to cry on, so to speak, in some of those very frustrating times. So
how do you feel like, what is, as far as supporting local, what does that mean to you? What is the importance of supporting local?
Yeah. Like I mentioned earlier, just in the economic climate that we have right now, I think so many businesses are struggling, and I think that's where community comes in. And, it's not just a grocery store or, a souvenir shop or whatever, fill in the blank. That's somebody's livelihood. That's how they feed their children. That's, how they pay for vacations. That's, whatever it may be. And I think being able to support that is something that's really important to us as a small business. We always appreciate when somebody chooses us over the big guys, if you will. And so we try to do the same.
Okay. All right. So now we have our rapid fire question round.
Oh,
It's gonna be
okay.
quick
Okay.
and quick and easy. Okay. First question: sweet tea, unsweet tea, or something fancy?
Oh, half and half.
Okay. So half and
that
half.
fair?
Yeah, no. I know a lot of people that do half and half. I know a lot of people. I'm a sweet tea gal all the way, but like
No,
I know a lot of
Noah
people-
would say
Yeah.
sweet tea, McDonald's sweet tea.
Okay.
Like he loves a good sweet tea.
What is one of your favorite local businesses to support? And I know you probably have quite a few. So I mean, one or two. Throw them out there.
So many. County Smoke is a big one. We love them. Unfortunately, County Sunrise is no longer open.
Yeah.
The other location that they operated, and we loved that too. Neighbor's Place is a huge one for us. That's kind of like our go-to date night spot. So those are the top two that come to mind right off.
Okay. Best advice you have either given or received?
Oh my gosh, ever?
Well,
Wow.
give me in like the last couple years.
Well, does it have to be business related or can I? Okay. So, I mean, we have, as you know, we have 3 young children under the age of 8. And I don't even remember who told me this, but it is the best advice I've ever gotten is that the days are long, but the years are short. And truly, at the end of the day, everything we do is for our family and for our community. And that's where our core mission is, right? And our value. And it is true. Some days they make me want to rip my hair out. And it just goes by like that.
Yeah. I saw something the other day, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I don't know the exact quote, but it had something to do with like you're looking forward to tomorrow because you're like tomorrow's another day, but you don't look to the fact that you just lost a day as you're moving forward. So
You'll
you're
never get it
losing as
back.
much as you're gaining. So
Yeah, absolutely.
okay. So next question is, what is a myth about your industry?
I think everybody thinks that contractors are one and the same, and they're really not. You know, just like I was talking about earlier, we hear so many people that come to us out of frustration because they've gone down the list and they've called 10 contractors and one of them has gotten back and then didn't show up, you know, to give them a quote. I think really having that personalized experience, somebody who's been in the industry and somebody who actually cares, right? Who wants to get the job done. So just knowing that they're really not all the same.
Okay. What is one thing you wish you'd known before going into business for yourself?
Oh my gosh, that the phone never, ever, ever stops ringing.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. There's no 9 to 5. There's no clocking out. You know, I think you hear that when you're about to step into entrepreneurship, and then hearing it versus actually experiencing it is completely different, right? We're never off the clock. It's constant. You're constantly, what can I do next for my business? You know, what can I do to make things better? What can I do to be better as a person? And so I think you're always on.
Right.
And that's where relationships like these come in, where we can lean on each other, right?
How can people best support Coleman Custom Creations and get a hold of you if they need your services?
Yeah, definitely. Facebook and Instagram, we're on both of those. That's going to be the easiest way. Our phone number is right in our little bio. They can call. It goes directly to my husband's cell phone, not mine, which is amazing. They can call or text that number. They can also email us. So whichever one is more convenient. They can message us on Facebook as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me
Thank you.
today. Thank you so much for joining us with Tea Time with the Central Virginia Business Coalition. If you'd like to find out more information about the Central Virginia Business Coalition, our members, Coleman Custom Creations, or how you can be on here spilling the tea with me, you can go to www.cvabc.org.